want it. I know you want it. You're a good girl.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for 20 songs that prompted serious legal action over potential copyright infringement.
You don't want no drama. No drama. No drama.
Number 20, Folsom Prison Blues, Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash bared his soul for the world to see on many of his greatest hits, but that doesn't mean he didn't get a little help along the way at times.
I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on.
On his legendary single, Folsom Prison Blues, Cash took heavy influence from a then-recent album by Gordon Jenkins, especially the track Crescent City Blues.
And I ain't been kissed, Lord, since I don't know when.
It's an unmistakable lift that should have been credited. In the early 70s, Jenkins made the decision to sue Cash for a slice of the pie. He ended up paying Jenkins a sum of $75,000, while also inserting his songwriter credit on all subsequent releases.
And I'd let that lonesome whistle roll my blues away.
Number 19, Pretty Woman, Two Live Crew. An interesting question was raised when Two Live Crew released a song called Pretty Woman in 1989. Can a parody of a song be considered plagiarism? Well, Two Live Crew supposedly contacted Roy Orbison's record label to ask for permission to parody his legendary hit, Oh Pretty Woman.
Pretty woman, walking down the street, pretty woman, the kind I like to read.
The label rejected them, but the group took the rebellious path and recorded their parody anyway. The lawsuit that followed led to some interesting outcomes, namely that parody should be considered fair use. And we're inclined to agree. Could you imagine if someone like Weird Al Yankovic had to answer for all of his parodies? That's not a world we want to live in.
Pretty woman.
Number 18, Ghostbusters, Ray Parker Jr. The story of Ray Parker Jr. and the Ghostbusters theme song is a messy tale.
There's something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
After being tasked with writing a tune for the film with barely any time to work, Parker managed to produce the goods in a big way. The problem? Well, as much as the tune was insanely catchy and the perfect fit, it also borrowed heavily from another famous song. Huey Lewis and the News had recently released I Want a New Drug, which is clearly the inspiration for Parker's song.
I want a new drug. One I won't spill.
Eventually, the case resulted in Lewis receiving an undisclosed payout while agreeing to a confidentiality agreement. Unfortunately for him, after he spoke about the suit on VH1's Behind the Music, Lewis had to pay Parker $30,000.
Who you gonna call?
Number 17, Do You Think I'm Sexy? Rod Stewart. This one is far too blatant to defend. Rod Stewart managed to strike gold on the charts once again with his insanely catchy disco pivot, Do You Think I'm Sexy?
She sits alone, waiting for suggestions.
But when it emerged that he had totally ripped off Brazilian legend Jorge Ben-Jor, he didn't even try to fight it. As it turned out, Stewart had visited Rio around the time he wrote his song and subconsciously plagiarized Ben's Taj Mahal. When Ben filed a lawsuit against Stewart, there was very little conflict. The case was settled amicably out of court and in favor of Ben. To this day, it remains one of the most clear-cut cases of plagiarism in music history. Number 16, Bittersweet Symphony, The Verve. Imagine writing one of the most beloved songs of the 1990s, your band's biggest hit ever, and not receiving royalties.
It's a bittersweet symphony that's life.
Well, the improper sampling of the orchestral version of the Rolling Stones' The Last Time left Britpop icons The Verve with a real mess on their hands. were given clearance to sample a small portion of the track for Bittersweet Symphony, but ended up exceeding it. Not only did the courts side with the Stones, but full songwriting credit went to Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, entitling them to all royalties the tune earned. However, in 2019, in a show of good faith that was very warmly received, Jagger and Richards gave the rights back to Richard Ashcroft and The Verve. Number 15, Shallow, Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Does a star like Lady Gaga need to go digging through obscure SoundCloud artists for song ideas?
Tell me something, boy. Aren't you tired trying to fill that void?
Well, when her hit song Shallow was released as part of the 2018 movie A Star Is Born, she got an unexpected accusation and a threat that it would cost her millions. Steve Ronson claimed that Gaga had stolen key elements from his song Almost, and that he had consulted musicologists to prove it. Whatever happened behind the scenes in this undisclosed saga did not work in his favor. He was described as someone who was looking to make money off other artists' successes. In reality, the songs were simply using similar musical ideas to arrive at different points. A coincidence, nothing more. Number 14, Creep, Radiohead. When Radiohead released Creep and it became a huge hit, it changed everything for them.
When you were before, couldn't look you in the eye.
So much so that they got so sick and tired of playing it. However, Tom York and company were forced to think about Creep a whole lot more when they were dragged into a lawsuit by Albert Hammond and Mike Hazelwood. The song was accused of being highly derivative of the Hollies' The Air That I Breathe, with the courts ruling that Radiohead had indeed borrowed a little too much. Hammond and Hazelwood are now listed as co-writers on the track and are entitled to half of all of the royalties the song earns. Number 13, Rodeo, Lil Nas X and Cardi B. Lil Nas X and Cardi B's Rodeo earned the two of them a boatload of money when it first dropped in 2019. But there was a problem.
If I took you everywhere, then well, you wouldn't know how to walk. If I spoke on your behalf, then well, you wouldn't know how to talk.
The Atlanta-based duo, Puerto Rifa and Secrete Deuce, claimed that their song Broad Day was being ripped off by Rodeo.
Broad day, one way.
According to them, their track had been circulating around the Atlanta hip-hop scene before Lil Nas X released his composition. In their eyes, the chord progression and instrumental feel had been ripped right off of their song. However, the courts did not agree with their claims, and eventually the case was dismissed.
I can take it all back, I never care about what you thought.
Number 12, Uptown Funk, Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars. Uptown Funk was one of the highest-selling songs of the 2010s, and a major career peak for Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson. However, there's no denying the similarities between the hook and the Gap Band's classic funk song, Oops Upside Your Head. Were Mars and Ronson merely paying tribute to the past with their song? Well, no matter what the intention was, the Gap Band successfully filed a copyright claim. And you don't need to be a musicologist to hear the similarities. Mars and Ronson were forced to add new songwriting credits to the track, and the Gap Band now receives 17% of royalties generated by the song. Number 11, Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin have had quite a few plagiarism controversies in their day.
There's a lady, sure, all the glitters is gold.
While songs like Dazed and Confused and Whole Lotta Love are among the most famous offenders, we're looking at the most famous lift of all, Stairway to Heaven.
There's a feeling I get when I look to the west.
Spirit had actually played on several of the same lineups as Zeppelin in the late 60s. Jimmy Page was even a fan of the band. So when their track Taurus was released, many people believed that the guitarist's love for borrowing musical ideas led to him ripping them off. Stairway to Heaven's intro is damn near identical to Taurus, and though the courts ruled in Zeppelin's favor in 2016, we can't say it was a convincing verdict. Number 10. Dark Horse, Katy Perry. Katy Perry, with her hit single Dark Horse, was accused by Christian rapper Flame of using the same beats and instrumentals featured on his 2008 song Joyful Noise.
You know what it is? I love it.
Though the rapper initially won the suit and was awarded $2.8 million for copyright infringement, the ruling was reversed in 2020. In the original ruling, Perry was accused of copying an 8-note ostinato, which is a continually repeated musical rhythm or lyric.
And here you were gonna come to me. And here you are, but you better choose carefully.
A judge in 2020 found that the sequence was not all original or rare, and thus gave the case to Perry. It's a little difficult to hear the similarity between the two tunes, but that might just be to the untrained ear. Number 9. Shaker Maker, Oasis. Oasis didn't always just fight amongst themselves as a band. They also had some legal issues to sort out. The 1994 single Shaker Maker may sound familiar. Oasis was sued by 1970s band The New Seekers, the band responsible for I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing, made popular by Coca-Cola commercials.
I like to teach the world to sing with me.
The Seekers won and were awarded $500,000 for unlawful use of their song. Originally, Shaker Maker was supposed to open with the exact same lyric as the New Seekers song, but Oasis had to change it due to copyright. But they wouldn't notice the melody, right? Well, they did. When asked about his thoughts on the case, Noel Gallagher said, quote, "Now we all drink Pepsi." Number 8. Carry On, Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X grew to extreme popularity in the 2010s. Unfortunately, with great popularity comes great lawsuits. His 2018 hit single Carry On borrowed a little too much from Bobby Caldwell's 1982 song of the same title, and Nas was slapped with a $25 million lawsuit. Basically, and this can easily be heard when comparing both tunes, he borrowed from the 1982 song without permission. The claim is divided into two suits, Nas for unlawful use and Sony Music for punitive damages, citing the label as not properly verifying its artist's songs in the pursuit of fortune. The results of the case have not yet been publicized, but we can't assume it'll end in Nas's favor. Number 7. We Can't Stop, Miley Cyrus. Sometimes the plaintiffs get a little greedy. Miley Cyrus's 2013 single We Can't Stop sounded familiar to Jamaican songwriter Flower. He claimed Cyrus's song bears a resemblance to his 1988 song We Run Things in general, as well as borrows from his lyrics. So Flower sued for a massive amount of $300 million. The suit was settled in early 2020. However, the details have not been released to the public. The main lyric borrowed was We Run Things, Things No Run We, which Cyrus sang as We Run Things, Things Don't Run We. It's a fairly specific phrase. Other details are scarce, but it's nice to see the little guy come out triumphant sometimes. Number 6. My Sweet Lord, George Harrison. There can't be any doubt in anyone's mind that one of the biggest bands in musical history and its members were sued on more than one occasion. Early in George Harrison's solo career, he was sued by Bright Tunes Music Corporation concerning his song My Sweet Lord.
My sweet Lord.
The song musically resembles the Chiffon's 1963 hit He's So Fine, and this can be heard by the untrained ear.
I were a queen, and he asked me to leave my throne.
Harrison claimed to have drawn inspiration from Oh Happy Day, as had He's So Fine, and that the former Beatle was aware of the Chiffon's tune. Therefore, it was deemed that Harrison subconsciously borrowed from He's So Fine, yet this doesn't absolve one from copyright infringement. He was ordered to pay the label $1.6 million in 1976. Number 5. My Humps, Black Eyed Peas.
My hump, my hump, my hump, my lovely little lumps. Check it out.
This one is really down to record label politics. DJ Lynn Tolliver recorded his song I Need a Freak in 1983 and had the song registered with BMI as its songwriter. The song was subsequently lent out for use despite Tolliver's legal efforts to put a stop to it.
I need a freak with long hair.
The producer responsible for lending the track ignored Tolliver and continued. Thus, it was sampled by the Black Eyed Peas.
She's got me spinning.
Spending all your money on me, on me,
What you gonna
on me.
do?
The court case was riddled with the producer's multiple versions of the story, but ultimately, Tolliver was awarded $1.2 million. This is one of those cases where the band was really not at fault. Number 4. Thinking Out Loud, Ed Sheeran.
Take me into your loving arms.
Ed Sheeran is no stranger to lawsuits. In the same year, he had 2 major suits going on. The first being his song Photograph, accused of blatantly stealing, at some points note for note, from Matt Cardle's song Amazing. The second was for his song from the same album, Thinking Out Loud.
Maybe we found love right where we are.
Sheeran was slapped with a multi-million-dollar lawsuit in 2018 for allegedly borrowing a little too heavily from Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On, notably in the drum and bass rhythm arrangements.
There's nothing wrong with me loving you.
In March of 2021, Sheeran attempted to have the case dismissed, but his bid was rejected by a U.S. district judge who stated that Sheeran must face the charges against him.
And we found love right where we are.
Number 3. Ice Ice Baby, Vanilla Ice. The results of this one might irk a few fans of the legendary band Queen. Back in 1990, Vanilla Ice had teens stopping, collaborating, and listening to his hit single Ice Ice Baby. However, anyone with any knowledge of classic rock recognized that bass line right away. It was ripped directly from Queen and David Bowie's collaborative 1981 song Under Pressure. Ice soon found himself being sued by both Queen and Bowie. Ice claimed that he avoided the suit by purchasing the rights to Under Pressure.
So they didn't have the actual rights to it, so I went to Brian May and I actually bought the song. And
the guitar player for Queen.
Yeah, but I actually own the song. So I bought it like Michael Jackson owns the Beatles. It was cheaper than the lawsuit.
However, a Queen spokesperson says that Ice's statement isn't entirely accurate, stating, quote, "An arrangement was made whereby the publishing in the song was shared." Number 2. Love is a Wonderful Thing, Michael Bolton. In the early 90s, Michael Bolton found himself in hot water following the release of the hit single Love is a Wonderful Thing. It turned out that the Isley Brothers, best known for It's Your Thing and Shout, had released a 45 RPM single of the same title back in 1964. Though Bolton and his manager claim to have never heard the original song, that's a little hard to believe when you compare the 2 singles. The Isley Brothers won their case and were awarded $5 million, which at the time was the highest payout for musical copyright infringement ever awarded. At least we can all agree that love is, in fact, a wonderful thing. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Blurred Lines, Robin Thicke featuring T.I. and Pharrell Williams.
And that's why I'm gonna make you good, girl. I know you want it. I know you want it.
Remember 2013, when all you heard all year was this song? Well, Marvin Gaye's family heard it too, and they were not too pleased. In 2013, Gaye's family filed a lawsuit, claiming that the hit single copied from Marvin Gaye's Got to Give It Up. To the untrained ear, the opening of both songs is strikingly similar, as is the rhythm. Gaye's family was triumphant and were awarded approximately $5 million, as well as half of all future royalties Blurred Lines accrues.
I'm so filled with emotion right now that it's hard to get the words out, but this was a miracle.
One thing we can say from this and some of the other lawsuits featured in this list: do not mess with Marvin Gaye's music.
Legal analysts say this verdict sends a loud message to the music industry.
I think this is going to lead any musician who's been inspired by another song to think twice, because this is a big legal ruling.
Did we miss out on any other famous music lawsuits? Let us know in the comments.